So, we're talking things not to do if you have an interest in moving to the continent in 2023. I try to stay super positive, and I know that some people need to hear this because this journey is not an easy one, right? And for the people that intend to make this move abroad, specifically to the continent of Africa, y'all need to hear this, right? And I want to support you. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. So, welcome to the channel. If you're new, welcome. My name is Ashley on this channel, Ashley in Africa. I talk about my experience moving, living, and doing business here on the continent of Africa. If you're not new, welcome back to the channel. And if you're catching the replay, welcome to you as well. So, thank you to our 20,000 plus subscribers. This community is growing. I'm so grateful. I'm so honored. And I felt really moved to come on and do a live today, not only in celebration of the 20,000 subscribers, but on the heels of a very powerful Africa Investors Academy group call that we had today. It was a very powerful call. I'm so grateful for the people, the members in the community. I'm also the founder and creator of the Africa Investors Academy, which is a membership community of entrepreneurs and investors, aspiring entrepreneurs as well, who have an interest in doing business on the continent of Africa. So I know some of my members will join. So if you're here, let me know in the chat so that I can greet you. And we talked about a lot today. It was super positive, very valuable. And, we talk about the journey of moving to Africa, doing business in Africa, and what it means to essentially build a life here. And so, while the focus and the core mission is to support entrepreneurs and aspiring entrepreneurs who want to do business and invest in the continent, we also touch on realistic challenges that we deal with personally, professionally, societally, familially, relationships, and how to manage those things. And so, my goal is to create a community where people feel safe, to share their experience and to share their challenges and get feedback from not only me, but fellow community members. And I'm just really grateful at the community we've been able to create to do that. Right. And so in this video, though, I think one of the things I took from our session today was a lot of the things that I went through, our members are going through. And I don't know that I talk about it a lot. I know I talk about some of them. I do have my notes. But there are a lot of things that I don't think I touched on. And I try again to be very positive and encouraging along the way, but there are just some things that you should not do. Don't do these things if you plan on making your move to the continent in 2023. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why not to do them before I even tell you what not to do, right? But don't do these things because these things are not supporting your journey. They are not preparing you for the level of energy you're going to need to sustain yourself in this journey. Everything is happening to us for our highest good if we believe it. I'm going to repeat that. Everything is happening for our highest good if we believe that. And so every challenge that we're going through in this journey is meant to prepare us for what's next. And let's do some things that are going to support us in that journey because the ops are going to come through, right? The negative energy, the negative people, the negative experiences, they are meant to deter you from your goal and your vision. But you can actually do certain things to manage that energy, right? So I'm going to tell you about things that you should not do. And I know, Aradi, welcome. I did not announce this live. I haven't actually been feeling well. I had a sinus cold the last few days with the change in weather in Johannesburg. And so I really wasn't planning on doing a live. I was really storing all of my energy for our Africa Investors Group coaching call, and that they gave me energy and they gave me the resilience that I needed to push through a very powerful message to share with the community today, as well as express gratitude for our 20,000 plus subscribers. So, no, I didn't inform you, but aren't you glad you're here? Aren't you glad you're here? All right. So go ahead and greet me in the chat if you'd like to be greeted. I am on the fun platform of YouTube Studio, so I can't share the comments. Or can I? Let's see. I can't. So yeah, I can't share the comments, but I will read them and I'll share them as we go along. And if you wait until the end, if you're catching the replay, you can get that. We have a really special event happening on the 1st, April 1st, Saturday, April 1st, coming up. We're opening up the doors to the Africa Investors Academy, to the community here, to get a glimpse into the type of content that we share in that community. We'll have our advisors joining in that community call and that meeting on Saturday. And so you'll get a free, open look inside of what we do in the academy, and it's going to be a special one, so you're not going to want to miss it. So that's one thing. Don't miss the live. All right, that's the live that I think is going to really give us an opportunity to access some really great information on how to build ourselves economically here on the continent. All right, so I have my notes. And let's get into it. So, don't do these things if you plan on moving to the continent in 2023. This one I talk a lot about, right? I talk a lot about do not spend your time and energy trying to convince people of the vision that you have for yourself and your journey here on the continent. Don't waste your time spending energy on trying to get people to buy into your vision. Your vision is for you, for that purpose. This is your vision. And everybody is not meant to see your vision. It's been really interesting, for me, because man, like I've made some really great decisions my entire life, right? Like I wasn't perfect. I didn't make all the best decisions, but professionally, personally, I made some really great decisions. And of course, when I thought I would tell family and friends that I was moving to the continent, I just assumed that they would be like, yeah, dope. Like you always go up, right? You always take a step up. I thought that. I was convinced. I knew they're going to support me. And the reality was a lot different than I expected, right? They were like, you're crazy. Where are you going to live? Where are you going to eat? Isn't it a place, a country, right? Because everybody thinks Africa is a country. Isn't that country, famine with poverty and sickness and disease and animals are roaming and wars are happening? And I was like, no, it's not all of Africa. It's actually not even most of Africa, right? And I was shocked. I shared videos. I started talking about the statistics of America. And it was just beyond me, the fact that people were so adamant about being opposed to my position. They were like, nah, you're crazy, you're bugging. Why you want to go there? You're putting yourself at risk, you're putting your children at risk, you're crazy, what are you doing? Etc. etc. I spent a lot of time encouraging people to see my vision. That wasn't for them. And some of them see it now, some of them don't. The most prideful, of course, they wouldn't dare. They wouldn't dare see it, even after the Bloomberg article, after the UN article, after the Exodus Summit, you know, after the growth in this community. They wouldn't dare see the benefit, right, of what this life looks like. Welcome, welcome to the stream. Please like the video. Like the video. There's 35 of us in here, 16 likes. Let's get it up to 30 likes before we go on to the next. Let's get it up before we go on to the next point. What's up, Mike? You're welcome. Thank you for joining me for the live stream. Trinada Mambo. Karibu Sana. So Trinada in the chat has worked with me. She's made her voyage to the continent. I am so proud of her. Trinada, show us some love. Sawubona. Now you're talking in South Africa. Oh, that's right. She's not in Tanzania. She's in South Africa. My bad. She's in Pretoria. Yes, with her and her little girl. I'm so proud of you. I am so proud of you. And so maybe you can chime in the comments about some of these things that you should not do, right? And how they shift your energy. I know we're going to talk about it because we're about to get into it when we get these likes up. So get the likes up, y'all, on the things not to do, right? If you're preparing to move to the continent in 2023 and you want to be successful, don't do these things. In the meantime, let's get the likes up. We're close, right? About 7 more likes. Got our moderators in the building. Oh yes, she's sharing some gems in the comments. Aradi, hello. To me, it's cold, right? It's not cold because I see people walking around in jerseys and like I'm just like, ain't y'all cold? But they're not. Andy, bless, welcome. Let's get the likes up, y'all. Let's get the likes up. Oh, you didn't forget. Oh, sis. Okay. I thought we talked about that, Trinata. We know talk about that in company. But okay. Yes, she's giving gems. She's giving gems. All right. So the next thing, stop consuming the media. Hi, Joanne. Welcome. We have a member of the Academy here in the comments. Welcome. So yes, stop consuming the media. Stop consuming the news. Do not consume the news. The U.S. news cycle is just insane right now. It's tragic. There is a tragedy happening every day, literally. And I know for my brothers and sisters here on the continent, you know, I know that there is this kind of weird, weird understanding of like why Americans want to be on the continent. But we also see that shift changing, right? Because TikTok, YouTube, Instagram is exposing us to the reality of the US. There's too much. There's too much. Stay away from the media. Stay away. Because what it's also doing is indoctrinating you with a fear mindset, because that's what it's intended to do, right? It's intended to create an anxiety and a fear of whatever, fear of the Republican Party taking over, fear of, gun laws not changing, fear of walking into, a potential mass canceling of people, right? If you get my drift. Fear of food prices skyrocketing, right? While all of these things could be real, and they are, they are, this already, right? You know this already, which is why you're planning to move. Don't continue to indoctrinate your mind with this fear mongering media. right? It is literally correct. Fear of, excuse me, fear of international disputes, economic downfall. While these things are real, you know it. That's why you're making a plan to move. Sorry. So stop. Stop. Don't do it. Don't do it. Yes, Dark Alchemist says it puts stress on your body, creates anxiety. It literally makes you sick. Thank you, Trinata, for the super chat. It makes you sick. I was telling Trinata this, Trinata, yes or no? We were going through it in this journey. It is, once you make your mind up, let me tell you, the ops are coming for you. The ops are the people in your life who don't mean you well, who you never thought would ever not mean you well. The the random strangers that want to create conflict with you, turn you up. The random media, news, things happening, right? It's like it comes at you like a fire hose. And so you have to be so intentional about shutting it off, because your mere intention to make a life changing spiritual shift, generational shift, is going to make things hectic for you. It's going to make things seem like huger, like way bigger than they actually are, but they're big. The thing is, before we decided to make this move, it was happening around us every day. I I don't know that I would even say it's like a third eye moment. It's one of these eyes, right? Where you now start to see and experience things you never experienced before. Let me know, because there are so many people in the comments. I'm so grateful that I've been able to help. The Martins are here, that I've, helped and supported just by a call, right? I didn't do a lot. I just shared the insight that I had. And there are people that have made the journey. So please share in the comments, if this is resonating, right? If this is helpful, or if you, when you remember this part of your journey, if you can relate. All right. So please, like, get active in the comments and, kind of support the conversation. Thank you, Anxious Man, for the super chat. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's wow, I never really thought of that, right? It's the Mr. Andersons from the Matrix. All of the things will start popping up around you, and you have to stay hyper laser focused on your journey, or else it will drive you nuts. I remember, yes, Trinata, get on them. Yes, Aradi, you know what I'm saying? Support me, support us. Trinata, let me make you a moderator. Okay. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Wait, how do I? Okay, I'm gonna change this. Okay, perfect. There we go. So if you're not going to consume Western media, don't. Also, as an asterisk to that, because we're going to say what you now need to watch: African content, African creators, listen to African music, right? Get in alignment with what your desires are, the people that are doing the thing that you want to do, the energy that is being exuded the way that you want to exude, right? People that are walking in the same path, on the same path that you want to walk on, that can give you that inspiration, that encouragement, that enlightenment. And I will say that there's not a lot of, there are some people, some creators that are here on the continent that are not necessarily, the best to watch either, right? But use your discernment, right? Use your discernment. For me, it was people like, Wode Maya, Kanganda, Dynast Amir, African Superstar, Black Sit, even at the time, Exodus House, People that were doing the thing that I wanted to do. I was watching their content. Did I agree with everything that they were doing? No, well, it really wasn't about that. It was about me continuing to stay focused on my mission, right? Even our guy, Go Black to Africa, right? And, it's a little controversial. It's a lot controversial, but the idea is that he was doing the thing and many things that I wanted to do. If I didn't resonate with the message that he's sharing, or even till this day isn't sharing, I don't entertain it. I don't complain. I'm not doing no response videos. I just don't entertain or engage with content that is not in alignment with the way that I want to live my life, the path that I want to take, the walk that I want to walk. Right? I don't do that. And you shouldn't do that either as you prepare to move abroad. Yes, go to the bathroom. She just woke up from a nap, so it's about to get a little lit. um, Thank you, the stream. Yes, welcome for the super chat. This is so fun. I love y'all are supporting me. This is so awesome. Thank you again to all of the new subscribers. Welcome. Hit the like button, subscribe. This is a subscriber only chat. So if you are not subscribed, you can't contribute to the chat. And there's a lot of value jewels being dropped. Hi, Krishan. Welcome. Blacksit Global is in the building. If you're not following her, she's also a great resource to be following. So if you're on your journey and you want to make your move in 2023, stop watching traditional media and start watching content creators that are in alignment with the goals that you have. And Blacksit Global is doing that through her YouTube channel. Her Instagram is always popping and sharing the best information for expats and aspiring expats. And her podcast is an incredible compilation of expats that are living abroad, that have done it, that can share their perspectives, even if it's not Africa, right? Even if it's somewhere outside of Africa, she's got a community of people that have done it too. Right? Gonna say hi or just gonna stand there and look? You wanna eat dinner? Okay. I have school today. Yeah, you have school tomorrow. Okay. Say bye to the people. They can't see that hand. Use the other hand. Use the other hand. Say bye. Okay, bye. Okay, go eat. Go eat. All right. Thank you, baby. What's that? Go eat. All right. Appreciate y'all for the intermission. She just woke up from a late nap, but I was gonna let her sleep. I was hoping that she was just gonna sleep through the night, but we're in for a late one. They said hi, Penelope. They said hi. All right. I don't know what you're meaning, anxious man. So I didn't like Bongo. Who is Bongo? What's that? All right. Buckner Family Travel says world news, not U.S. so-called world news. Yeah, no. Mm-mm. Don't do it. Do not consume the media. Any of the and with that, do not allow yourself to even have a perspective on the worst case scenario, right? I shared the video on is this the bank collapse, a financial collapse of the US? Honestly, the US is not, we've seen it, right? We've seen the injection of constant capital into the economy, which is the reason why inflation exists. It's not because of Ukraine, it's not because of Russia. It's not because of anything other than the decision to inject. And hey, I'm not here to say that was the bad decision. I'm not here to say that if I was in that position, I wouldn't have done the same thing. But what I am saying is the worst case scenario is never, let me rephrase that. If you believe in a life of abundance, if you believe that you are the ultimate creator, you are the ultimate determination, the person who determines your life. If you believe that, if you believe that you are in control of the life that you live, then the worst case scenario doesn't apply from you, doesn't apply to you. So the worst case scenario is nothing that is going to help you along your journey. However, you know that, right? Because you already decided to make your move abroad. And so whether it's the dollar crashing or water being, poisoned, the food being poisoned, education system erasing itself of all of the white supremacy systemic issues and things that they've done to us, we know they've been doing it and they're not going to stop. So what are you going to do? You're going to get your bags together, get your plan together, and going about your business outside of America, right? And once you've made that decision, there's no point in focusing on the bad, right? Because that is going to happen. And I believe once you put your plan into motion, you're already covered. It is already so. I believe that. Do you believe that? And I know it's hard and it's easier said than done, but I know there are some people here in the comments that had this experience, and there are people today that are going through it now, and you need to hear this, right? You are on your way. Your journey has begun. Stay focused, stay encouraged, and persevere. Move forward, keep going, right? Eliminate the worst case scenario. Is this sinking in? Is this resonating? Be sure to like the stream. Krishan, have you made your move yet? I know I'm asking your business and all like this, you know. If you feel comfortable sharing, please share with the community. But I love it. This is a community of Africans, diasporans. We're doing this. This is a real thing, and you can do it. You know, Wenzel says something big is happening in the world. There's a shift, and people are sleeping still, chasing material, at least in Africa. Yeah, we still have human rights, if not all. Rosita says, you cannot thrive in Africa without a network and tribe. Plain and simple individualism doesn't work here. Relationships in your personal network matter more than money. This is true, Rosita, but I don't know that we don't understand that. I think we do. Yes, Krishan, Black Sit Global, flies to Portugal next month. Yes, that's right, September. That's right. It's coming so soon. I don't need to tell you, but I'm so excited for you for your discovery trip. Fantastic. All right. So, Rosita, I don't know that we don't understand that. Thank you for sharing. And we're our goal is to move beyond individualism, to move beyond our practices in the West and integrate in a way that will be successful, you know? And so I think we do understand, at least the community of people that we talk to, right? We understand that. Did you eat dinner? Okay, go eat dinner. Tell Yaya to come here. Tell Yaya to come here. You're not going to sit on my lap right now, okay? Okay, go eat your dinner. Yaya's making pop and stew. You want pop and ugali? Yeah, Yaya's going to make it for you. 1 second, y'all. Yes, welcome. My cousin lived in South Africa for 3 years. My brother was just there. Yep. Welcome, Krishan. You are welcome. We'd love to have you. I'd love to have you and connect in person. And there's just a community of support, right? There is. I know one of the questions, and I'm getting a bit off topic now, but one of the questions is, am I going to be received, and am I going to be able to make friends? And in alignment with everything else, know that what you're doing is intentional. Know that what you're doing is to create a shift in your lifestyle, in your lineage, in your legacy. Everything is working out in your favor. And I find that it's been easier to make genuine friendships. I mean, I came from very superficial industries, working in entertainment, working in government, where the people that I spent the most time with, they weren't really genuinely friends, right? I do have a very rich dynamic of friends, but when it came to meeting new friends, I wasn't in environments that really made that possible, right? I was at work all the time, at work events all the time. So I feel like the ability to make new relationships has been, you know, I'm not going to say easy for me, but easier than making relationships in the US. I don't know, chime in if you feel me, but um, it's been something that I have had a positive experience with. All right, so let me jump back in. So those worst case scenarios, right? Don't think of that. If you are a person who doesn't look at a challenge as an opportunity, um, you're not going to make it. Sorry to tell you. Not only will you probably not make it in Africa, it will be hard for you to make it anywhere. So that's essentially the victim consciousness, right? I'm going a little bit deep into psychologically, but if you cannot look at a challenge as an opportunity, you're not going to make it. And you don't have to necessarily see it then, but maybe when you come through it, if you can look back and say, wow, that moment was really hard, really challenging, and I overcame that. Um, I don't know that I've shared this on the stream. I have kind of in bits and pieces, but I'll share this with you guys now. Um, I when I started this channel a little bit over a year ago, I didn't know for a fact that people would be interested in my story. I didn't know for a fact. I speculated because I knew that there were some people on the internet sharing their experience of living in Africa, doing business in Africa, moving to Africa. And I thought this could be something that works. This could be something that doesn't work. But what I knew was I was going through a really challenging time, the hardest time of my life, period. The hardest time in my life I was going through, fighting my family for my ability to return to the continent. And so I took that energy of not being able to convince them, not being able to be where I wanted to be in the moment, and focusing my energy on my destination, which was Africa. And thus I started Ashley in Africa. I wasn't in Africa when I started the channel. I was not even in Africa, but I was in Africa in my mind. I was in Africa in my spirit. I was in Africa in my heart. And so I essentially took that challenge, looked at that challenge as an opportunity. Now, at the time, I was literally, I think, just fighting for my sanity, fighting for my life. I wasn't necessarily doing it with that intention of this is an opportunity. But I knew that me sharing through just the process of manifestation, affirmation, that as long as I was sharing my story, sharing my experience, that my brain was being reminded of my environment when I was in Tanzania, at Mburia Island, eating the best mangoes I've ever had in my life, eating the freshest fish from the ocean, drinking water from the streams of Mount Kilimanjaro, looking at the hills and the valleys in Ngorongoro crater, seeing elephants up close, literally a yard away. And I feel like my throat chakra is trying to be interrupted because it was a powerful time. It was a powerful time, but the hardest time of my life. The hardest time in my life. And everybody wanted to see me fail. And so the only way that I could push through in that season was to get on a platform and tell my story. And I did some other things too, right? I wrote in my journal, I scripted, I was doing all of the things, but what I wasn't doing was watching the news, was giving energy to people who didn't see the vision that I had for myself. And I couldn't and I would not allow myself to think that I wasn't going to get out of there and back to my home in Africa, right? And so I looked at that experience as an opportunity in your troubling time, the most troubling time, which is likely to be along this journey of expatriating. Remember this, right? Because I hope, will be helpful. All right. Is this helpful? Thank y'all for the support in the chat. Buckner Family Travels testimony for real. Yeah. Seeing Mount Kilimanjaro by air is an amazing experience. Wow. I'm sure. And I think you were asking if I didn't like Bongo, Tanzania. Yeah, no, I loved it. I love it. Present tense. I plan on going back very soon. Very, very soon. We actually have an event in August, the Africa Investors Academy Summit in Zanzibar. Will be in August in Tanzania, in Zanzibar. So join us for that free event on Saturday, the 1st of April. The time is, I think, 12 p.m. Eastern time. The link is on, it's scheduled. You can go to my channel and you can see, put your notification bell on, join us live. It is literally an inside look into the academy. For the community, I want to make sure that I open it up to the community for you to get an insight into what we're actually talking about in the community and the value that we're sharing with our members. And we'll be talking about the trip to Zanzibar. And so if you have an interest in joining us, join us on Saturday to get a free peek inside the community that we're building, that I'm really so happy and grateful that we're building and is growing. Right. So the next thing, if you want to move to the continent of Africa in 2023, please don't buy a house. Don't buy no land. Don't buy no real estate. Please. I would even say don't buy a car. Don't buy anything that is going to tie you deeper into the economic restraint of the West, of the US. Now, if you own a home and you're planning on renting it out, sure. Is now the best time to buy a property in the US? I don't know. I'm not a real estate expert, but I would say with the prices of rent going up, the prices of everything going up, and people's mental health declining, homicides increasing historically, I don't see it as a viable market for that. Now, I also have some friends. Exactly. Interest rates are super high, right? I have some friends that own property in the US. They decide to keep their property. They got to spend time in the US that they don't want to be spending away from their home here on the continent because they decided to keep a rental property. When the tenant doesn't pay, they got to go back, file eviction letters and notices with the court. They got to go back, sit with hearings on, when the weather was crazy and pipes were bursting because they reported them to somebody. It's just, sorry, I was reading. Yeah, so it's, one, is it a viable investment? I think that there are bigger investment opportunities with a greater return in the place where you're hoping to grow a life, right? Even if you want to buy a higher end luxury real estate in consistent vacation locations, right? Which is what we're going to be talking about on Saturday. Zanzibar, year round sun, beautiful year round. And I've been a landlord in the US 3 times. Okay, 3 times. I don't enjoy it. It's a thing I'm hesitating about doing here, but I see the upside from a tourism perspective with year-round tourism, short-term rentals through Airbnb, through places like Booking.com, et cetera, et cetera. These are very viable return on investments with the least amount of stress, because at the very bare minimum, you keep a property in the US and you're getting settled in your home country of South Africa, Botswana, Tanzania, Ghana, Kenya, Nigeria, wherever, Sierra Leone, and some things go down and you got to get back on a plane, just the emotional distress that you go through booking that flight, going to the airport, waiting for the layover, landing in America, is it really worth the extra $1,000 a month that is coming into your account when money is abundant? When money is abundant everywhere, when you are an abundant being and you can attract and build and bring in money regularly. Ask yourself that. So let me look at these comments because it got real active in the chat. Buckner Family Travel says, okay, I was hoping you'd say that because I just bought 3 homes in St. Louis that I plan on renting it out. I don't know. I'm not an expert. I'm giving my suggestion based on what I see happening on this side, right? Because people think, okay, I got to set up income, and that is true. You do need to have some income coming in. But what type of income? And understanding what your cost of living is really going to look like is really important. And what type of mental, physical, and financial stress does that put on you long term? Are you just thinking that, okay, I'm going to get this amount of money? And so I see someone saying, yeah, that's what property managers are for. I've been a landlord 3 times, and I've had over 6 property managers. They don't always work out. It's a process of elimination, a process of vetting. If you have been doing business and real estate for years and that is your business and that's what you do, absolutely. So I retract my statement for those that are in that business, commercial, residential, or whatever, and it's been powerful for you and you feel confident, cool. But personally, I feel like it's an opportunity to create more stress on you than is worth. Um, and this is again coming from working with people that are directly affected and impacted by keeping property in the US. All right, so this is not financial advice, just merely information. You do what feels best for you, but if you have an interest in making your move now, 2023, I recommend you don't do these things. Black Six Global says, I rent in my car as a lease. Apartment lease ends in July, car ends in September. Yep. Hand over the keys, hand over the keys to the car. No stress, no mess. Exactly. So, and that's preparation, right? So she's been preparing for years. Preparation. There's intention with that, right? So you take that same amount of money that you're investing in real estate to buy 3 units in a US city, you could potentially buy 6 to 10 units in an African city, metropolitan, or maybe 3 investment for short-term rentals for tourism. There's so many different options. And the stress that you alleviate from having to book that flight to the US, go to the airport, wait, go on that layover, and arrive in the country that you left from, that you really don't want to be in, is it worth it? So think about that. Um, and the last thing not to do, don't delay. And this could look like many things. And I know this is actually even a part of this, looking at potential opportunities down the line. Um, I think personally, I could say I fell accustomed to this. There's now with the change in the economy, there's all these get your MBA online and this, get this additional certification, get this, get that, get this license, get this. And while I am an avid believer in education, a constant learner, I value education and I believe it's something we should all continue to do. Um, don't do that. Don't do that to keep you thinking that you need that to make your move. Because what you can do is get a master's from the number the 22,000. Let me not quote it. You can get a master's from a South African university, ranked as one of the best universities and research institutions in the world, Wits University. You can study online. There are virtual certification programs, alt school, based in Nigeria, that's providing and democratizing high skill, high level accreditations and skill sets through online learning. You know, there are so many resources for you to do that thing here on the continent or virtually anywhere you want to do it. Um, so yeah, and I know from a parent perspective, right? We like to think that we're going to wait for our child to graduate, into high school or to graduate college. And college, or high school, I kind of get because they're a bit older. But when I tell you, when that vision is for you, it is for you. And your children will thank you when you make decisions in their and your best interest. Now, we're going a little deep here. And I can say, while I respect and I value everything that my mother did to give me access to the best opportunities and the best things, I also saw her sacrifice so much. And I learned that sacrifice seemed to be better than self-care. And as when I became a mother, I did the same thing. And deep down, I know that that sacrifice that she made built into transparently resentment. And it happens. And it's not something that we talk about as parents. Um, Instead, it comes out in really toxic, passive aggressive, controlling ways of how we carry on our family lineage. Um, but when you see your parents as only being sacrificial beings, you don't understand how to apply self love to yourself. And so, as a parent, I truly believe that when you make decisions that are best for yourself, your children get the best of you and they learn how to prioritize their own self, their needs, their desires, and their dreams. And then there's no resentment. You're not resenting the fact that you're doing this thing for your children. You're not running around the house talking about, I feed you, clothe you, provide a roof over your head. Because one, that's what you're supposed to do. But two, you know that while you're doing that, you're also doing it in a place that feels good, is is aligned with your highest good, and is providing you with the life of your dreams, right? Absent of racism, absent of constant violence, absent of structural and structures and systemic and like institutions that are not going to change. Right. And so, to Krishan's point, you cannot pour from an empty cup, but you can't pour from air either. Maybe you don't have a cup, and that's what it's looking like on that side. You're literally taking the definition of who we are as human beings right? They're removing our history. They're removing our stories. And the stories of our triumphs, but they're going to let you know to celebrate that Black History Month, to remember that you came here as an enslaved human. They want you to remember that eternally. But what they don't want you to know about is the resistance, the revolutionaries, the people that made it so that we could continue on. And so, don't delay. Do not delay. Don't say, I'm going to stay and save up more money, because what happens is what? Expenses start to increase too. The longer you're there, your expenses will increase. Guaranteed. Oh, I'm going to stay, make up more money. The car breaks down. A family member is in need. The house water heater explodes. The air conditioning dies out, and it's literally 90 degrees, right? So don't delay. And I know that there are extenuating circumstances for everybody, and this message isn't for everybody, but I know that because you're here, you can get something from this message. There are extenuating circumstances, and your ability to do what in your mind is best for you means you must literally rely on that vision and move forward and push forward and make it happen. Release the expectation of other people buying into your dream. Release the expectation of it going perfectly right, because it literally will be the opposite. Release the expectation that you've just got to get that additional degree or that additional certification. Release the expectation that in 3 years, you'll be better prepared than now. Because guess what? Even if you decide to do it now, 2023, and it doesn't work out, you can always return. Returning is not a failure. In fact, the longer you're here, you'll realize that you're creating a bridge. Your dream or your purpose is to also create a bridge. And that bridge means staying connected. But sometimes you just got to shake it off, You got to shake it off, be on your way, put things in motion, and let the process of healing, let the process of unlearning, let the process of integrating really take over your life so that you can find the ease that you need. Because living in the West is anxiety driven. It is sustaining. It is anxiety sustaining, creating. It is fueled off of that. It's fueled off of the disconnection from your heart and your spirit and your mind. And so those are the things I want to tell y'all. Don't do these things. If you plan to move to the continent in 2023, stay focused, have tunnel vision, share it with only people that support your vision, support your mission, can pour into you, can give you words of wisdom and encouragement and support. And I just felt like it was a really timely thing to share, that multiple people needed to hear this, because we had a really powerful call today in the Africa Investors Academy, and I knew that everything that everybody was going through were things that I had also gone through. And so as a community outside of the membership, I know that y'all are going through it too, or you've gone through it. And so Buckner Family Travel says, you're glad you came here for church today. Lord, am I preaching? Thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for your constant support. Thank you for showing up and being open to hear this message with love. This is only meant to encourage, support, and empower you, not to condemn you, judge you, criticize you, but really to do the opposite, support you with love, because everyone around you doesn't see the same thing that you see, doesn't see the thing that I see, and that I seen when I was making this journey. And so I'm just grateful that I had some support, that I have support even now, because it's a journey even still when you're on this side. But to be able to share that transparently, openly, honestly with the community of people that I know find value in it, I'm honored, to do it. So let me know if y'all have questions in the chat. As I mentioned, these are regular kind of conversations that we have, communities that we engage in the academy. There are a lot of things that come with this journey that I don't feel comfortable sharing on this platform, because there are legal things, there are personal things, there are people with medical things, and so you need support, and we're creating that. We're creating that for you, and you'll get an inside peek into that if you join us on Saturday, April 1st. The link is there on my channel. You can go ahead and subscribe, set the notification for that live. That event is going to be about the advantages and opportunities of investment in Zanzibar, Tanzania, in preparation for our summit in August. And I'll also, be sharing some mindfulness tools too around how to get your mindset prepared for what it means to do something the less than 1% of people will do, which is leave America, invest, and move to Africa. Because I did the statistics today. I went on to look like how many people actually move abroad. That number was like 8.7 million out of 350 million people, which is like 3%. But the amount of people that actually will move to Africa is less than 300,000. And I mean, if you're in the diaspora, that's even smaller, but that comes down to less than 0.01%. So when you're doing things that are absolutely not normal and outside of the norm, I mean, less than 1%, you have to have support. You have to be surrounded by a community of like-minded people that can pour into you, encourage you, advise you, love on you. Right? You got to share that experience, because it's a small group of people. That is diasporans, but hello, like we already talked about investors that are here, right? The Portuguese are here. The Chinese people are here. The Jewish community is here. I actually live in a Jewish community in South Africa. I had no idea until I kept seeing halal, like Burger Kings, and like, I was like, what is going on? I live in a Jewish community here in South Africa. They control the financial sector, apparently, and like, they are hip to the continent, right? And so that is really our goal, is to not only provide the information, the inspiration, but also a gateway into how we can build ourselves economically here on the continent, like these other countries, these other people have done. But because this is our birthright, and so we're entitled to it. All right, dope. So let me check the comments. One last go for questions. Krishan says it's go time. Yes, sis, it's go time. Thank you. It's been such a beautiful conversation. RT student mom, I need help. I want to pick up and leave with my 2 small kids. RT student mom, connect with me. Go to another one of my videos. I didn't put it in the description here, but go to ashleyinafrika.com, the channel name, exactly how you see it. No space. I mean, you can't do spaces on the web, but ashleyinafrika.com. I have a ton of resources just for you. For the month of March, if you want to book a call with me, I will give you all of the courses for free. The Expat Expense, which is the ultimate financial blueprint to moving abroad. The Expat Prep Guide for parents to prep yourself with children. And then also the Business Prep Guide for you if you're an entrepreneur, a checklist of things that you're going to need to register and set yourself up for business here on the continent. So if you book that call with me in the month of March, we still got a couple more days, you'll get all 3 of those courses for free with your purchase for Women's Month, celebrating the women, celebrating myself and everything that we're doing here and creating. Buckner Family Travel says every decision that most of us make in America is anxiety driven. It's true. It's true. Everything. the stream. How much do my financial services cost? I am not a financial services person, expert. Um, I give information. I don't give advice, but we do have a community of experts that do give financial and investment advice. And so if you were to join as a member, it would be $89 a month or $497 for the year, which is almost a 70% discount. Yep, Trinata gave you some feedback. RT student mom. So yeah, we've been working together for, wow, I don't know if it's even been a year. And as she mentioned, she is here in South Africa with her daughter. So, and we're catching up soon, Trinata. So I look forward to that. Was there a call in the academy? Yes, there was, Chess Move, and I sent you a calendar invite. And we missed you today. So there was a call in the academy. Our calls are recorded and usually placed in the academy within 72 hours. For people that can't make those calls, but they're really valuable because you get to engage, ask questions. So people benefit the most from engagement, but we do record them, especially the bigger sessions. They'll be recorded and placed in the community for replay. Thanks, Buckner Family Travels. I think I'm seeing a different like count than you were sharing, but I appreciate you. I appreciate you. We're going to gift you real quick with a as a moderator because I appreciate y'all and your support ongoing. I really do. I see you. I see you've been sharing your journey on YouTube, and so keep going. You got this. You guys got it. Like you're already here. It's happening. You're, listen. I'm sure, like you said, this was alignment. I've been there. I see you. I hear you. You've got this. It is so. It is done. Yeah, it's going to work out in your favor. Everything is working out in your favor. Is it possible to transfer your school from the ATL Georgia to the SA? I don't know what you mean. What school? Is it actual school? Like, do you have a business that is a school? Or are you in school and you're looking to transfer? If it's the latter, yes. And if it's the first and it's virtual, absolutely. You have to manifest and do the research. Yep, absolutely. Trinata for the business part. I'm waiting to get started first and join the academy. I don't know. I'm missing it. So you're in school for RT. What's RT? So I recommend doing a Google search, your program, and it in SA. If you have an interest in South Africa specifically, look and see if that program is available here in South Africa at the universities here, radiation therapy. I think that's probably a technical skill, right? So if you're already in school and you have time, finish it out. Now, I'm not saying go and start another program, right? But if you're already in school, finish it out. I think radiation therapy is a critical skill. I could be wrong. I very well may be wrong. But go ahead, also Google critical skills of South Africa and see if that is a skill set that is in demand in South Africa. And if you can go ahead and just knock it out, finish it out, apply for critical skills visa. Again, before you finish your school, networking online, getting in on LinkedIn, finding opportunities that could exist for you. Excuse me. Opportunities for training. Maybe you can even train people, right? Yeah, get on your Googles, make a plan. If you'd like to schedule a call with me, I'd love to work with you. As I mentioned, I'm offering all of the courses that I've created for free during the month of March. And so I can help you create a bulleted strategic plan on what you need to do to best prepare yourself to make your move and to put it in action. So I'm going to share the link to my calls. There is everything from traveling consults if you have an interest to travel, just need some support. If you have a business and you're wanting to expand your business to the continent, build a business, we can speak specifically about that. And then if you're just wanting general kind of information around it, and it's not even general, it's really specific to your situation, on making a move to South Africa or Tanzania from the US, I can literally give you a game plan by getting some insight from you, answering your questions, and then following up with a strategic plan ongoing to make sure that you're getting the support that you need on your journey. And if you want to talk about everything, I just suggest booking the business call, expanding your business, because that will include your discovery trip. It will also include your expat plan. Like I mentioned, you'll get all of those courses for free. And then you can get special, discounts potentially next month for Africa Investors Academy. So stay tuned. We're working out some discounts for the Academy for people that decide to book their memberships for a year in full. All right. Donaldson C says there's 6 universities for radiation therapy in South Africa. So that's good news. And if you say you don't really have an interest in, I don't know, right? I would have to understand what your goals are, right? But if there's an opportunity for you to transfer, I could see you making that happen pretty simply. I think student visa is one of the most plain, simplest processes there is. And it's a great way to come into the country because you're immediately going into community. You'll be going into a community of people in your workforce. And so I think that would be a fantastic plan, a fantastic idea for you, especially if you have children, because, at the end of the day, we don't want our babies in the school systems. We don't really want our babies there as moms. And so I know that that's probably a big part, without even knowing you, right? That's a big part of your decision making is your baby and wanting them to be safe. And so putting your plan in motion will start to give you a bit more confidence and a bit more relief around that concern. All right. Fear is a setback, says Nana Love. It can be if you allow it. All right. And so if your plan is now, let's get a plan in motion. So connect with me. You can schedule that call, book a call, and we'll work on it together. A plan is important, right? So that desire is definitely important. Having a plan is as important, right? So you got this. Yeah, I mean, the schools were, even during that testimony, right, where I gave y'all, and I was in the US for an extended period of time outside of my original plan of 2 months. I would not dare put my girls in the school. I just couldn't. So we were looking at each other for 7 months. I was homeschooling both of them. It was literally, again, the hardest time of my life combined with everything, but I wasn't willing to sacrifice their safety. I wasn't willing to roll the dice on their safety. I just wasn't willing to do it. And I didn't want to even think about putting them in a school where they're talking about how beautiful Africa is, dealing with the backlash that could have come with that. So, yep, please connect with me. I'd love to support you on your journey. Thank you, everyone. I hope to see you again on Saturday. I'll likely do another live on Wednesday, so check back on Wednesday. like this stream, share it with someone else who would find value in it. And until the next video, I will see you soon.